It's more than just your output, more than a bike. When you hear your shout out, you know it's all right. Put on your magic pants and let's go. We're cruising into the power zone. Clip in, set yourself free. Come on and take a ride with me. Know what you need to know and what's it all about. Everything you need, it's on the Clip Out.
Welcome to the Clip Out Podcast, episode 426. This is Crystal O'Keefe.
And this is Tom O'Keefe.
Hi.
Hi. Happy birthday.
Thanks.
I did remember in the middle of the night when, for whatever reason, Google Home decided to turn on all the lights in our room
I
on
don't know
full
if
brightness.
we were having a storm or what was happening. That was so weird. I never heard any thunder or anything.
No, me neither. It's just all of a sudden, I remember all the lights came on.
That was the second time.
And then you told them to turn off.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, 10, 15 minutes later, they all came on again.
Yeah.
And then I told them to turn off, and then Google Home was like, I'm not working.
Yeah. I think it's because it hadn't connected. I think when I woke up and it had happened and I told it to turn off, I think they had been on for a while. Like, I don't think they had just turned on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I think the Wi-Fi had reset because the power was out.
Right.
And so, or it didn't reset enough that it turned off our Wi-Fi. One of the two. But that was crazy.
So we woke up to
bright lights.
Surgical theater level brightness.
Yeah. I just got up and turned off the lights.
Like just
old school.
An actual physical switch. That's how high tech we are.
Yeah.
We actually have switches. That's pretty cool. So, and of course, we leave tomorrow to drop off the children.
We do.
At their respective colleges.
Yep.
So,
not thinking about it.
Trying to hold that together.
Yeah.
So, I guess in an effort to distract you, what, pray tell, do you have in store for people?
Well, we are going to talk about these new delivery assembly charges that Peloton has added in.
Surprise.
Peloton finally started their own dry try. So we're going to have our first of that. For whatever reason, they are also promoting the output. It's their blog on Instagram, which was weird. They had weird outages this past Sunday. They also have several tech issues we'll talk about.
Did all the lights in the studio turn on for no reason?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. But we'll get into it. But there were several minutes where the class just didn't start.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. We have lots of instructor news, more instructors that are pregnant, people that have had their babies, people that are trying to get pregnant.
Yeah. It's
baby fever.
Yes.
Baby fever.
We got babies everywhere.
We do. But there's lots, and there's other instructor news besides just babies.
Yes.
And then, of course, we have our artist series to discuss. We also have a celebrity sighting, and we have lots of content to talk through.
Okay, well, before we get to all that shameless plugs, don't forget we're available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeart, TuneIn, wherever you find a podcast, you can find us while you are there. Be sure and follow us so you never miss an episode. Maybe leave us a review. That is super helpful. It is also greatly appreciated. You can find us on Patreon if you just cannot get enough of us. Good news, there's more. It's over on Patreon. It's $5 a month. And what do you get for your $5 besides our undying love and gratitude? You get ad-free episodes. You get bonus episodes every week. We record an extra 20, 30 minutes of content. This week, we'll be discussing Leanne's first newsletter. Even more instructors entering the world of High Rocks. And who is thinking about becoming a musician? We will tackle all of that over on the Patreon. And then, of course, you also get early episodes. Last week, you got 2 because
yeah, you did.
We recorded an episode and then there was breaking news. And so we had to record a new segment and insert it. So
yes.
We pushed out the episode twice to the Patreon people. So ta-da. And, of course, you can watch all of these over at YouTube at youtube.com/theclipout. And then finally sign up for our newsletter at theclipout.com, where we will send you a mostly weekly newsletter with just a reminder that we exist and all the links to stuff that we talk about in the episode. So there's all that. Let's dig in, shall we?
We shall.
Peloton in the news.
Surprise, Peloton has introduced a delivery and assembly charge for things that you previously did not need to pay to deliver and assemble.
Yeah.
Expert assembly, it says.
Expert assembly.
Expert assembly.
There's so many things about this that are interesting. One, they have 2 columns that they list, self-assembly and expert assembly. And what's interesting about that is that only refurbished bikes and Peloton bikes are listed as self-assembly. Everything else has expert assembly.
Is the only option.
Well, no. That's true. Yeah.
Okay.
You can choose. You said that correctly. You can choose to
You were
have.
just surprised.
I said it wrong. Refurbished bikes and Peloton bikes, you can choose to do self-assembly or expert assembly. The expert assembly costs $150.
Okay.
Now, what's a little confusing to me is the Peloton Bike Plus rental has to have expert assembly
So I think I know what that's about.
because you're renting it.
Because you're renting
and
it.
they're like, you will not fuck it up.
If you screw this up,
Then it's on us.
right? Like,
yeah.
so you have to pay us to assemble it because we do not want to run the risk of you messing up. If you buy a bike and you put it together wrong, that's going to be a you problem.
Yeah, that I guess makes sense. But what I don't get then is why the Peloton Row and the Peloton regular tread without the slats, self-assembly is not available. The expert assembly is required, but that's free. Explain that. You can't.
Yeah.
You can't because it doesn't make any sense.
I mean, does the regular tread come all in one piece? I mean, we only have a Tread Plus. So.
It doesn't come in one piece, but it is way easier to assemble than the Tread Plus because the Tread Plus is a monster.
And you did reach out to ask why is it the expert assembly for row and regular tread required but free?
Yeah, and honestly, this answer doesn't really address specifically that. And maybe my question wasn't clear, to be fair. But they said that Peloton has introduced assembly options in the U.S., providing members with greater flexibility at checkout by offering paid expert assembly or free self-assembly. Assembly options and expert assembly will vary by CFU, which I think means the type of equipment.
Okay.
I think. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. Now, because of the functionality of the web page, you have to choose the expert assembly when you get the row or the tread, even though it's $0.
Right. Like you basically they didn't have a way to set it up to not be able to put something in your cart. So you got to put something in your cart, but that something is $0.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, the shocker is this Peloton Tread Plus.
Yeah, especially considering how expensive the Tread Plus already is.
$6,000 if people are wondering. And it's now a $300 expert assembly required. Now, I will say the Peloton Tread Plus is a beast.
Yeah,
and
it is.
It has been known that if you move it, it doesn't always work. Like it is a temperamental beast.
Yes.
It's a lovely beast, but it is very temperamental. But I think this is actually related to new equipment coming out.
Yeah, that was my first thought as well, is like there's something about the new stuff. I think this also helps them advertise a lower price point. Mm-hmm. It's kind of a price hike without a price hike.
It is a price hike without a price hike. Right now, people are just flipping out because all they hear is price hike.
Right.
They're not getting anything from it. But what we know is that Peloton has already said that the membership prices are going to go up by $5 a month. Now they released that to whatever Business Insider or whoever it was, right? And then we got another insider from Bloomberg saying all new equipment coming. What is interesting about the new equipment coming out? We talked about last week, we theorized that perhaps they were going to, there was going to be a whole new price point coming out, but there is more evidence to support that. And what I mean by that is that the current bike, our theory now is the current bike is no longer going to be sold after the new equipment comes out. Before you panic, people, I said sold, not supported.
Right.
Okay. There's a huge difference.
Yeah.
I just last night when I was just telling a few friends that it became a worry. And so I don't want people to panic about that.
You had to talk them off the ledge.
I did.
Yeah.
But the proof that is going to happen is that Amazon currently has a regular bike for sale, and it's not listed as a sale.
Right.
It's listed at $846. $846. Now, according to the Bloomberg article, the bike will be changed to match what is on the Bike Plus now. It will have a rotating screen, thank you. And there was something else about it that it would have. And that price point is going to start at $1145, which just happens to be what the regular bike is at before it went on sale.
Right. So Bike Plus becomes Bike Regular, and then we're thinking we will get some sort. Do you think we'll get a new Bike Plus?
I do.
Or do you think they'll just go back to having a bike?
That is what I think.
Yeah.
I think we're going to have Bike and Bike Plus. That is just my opinion. I don't know if that's the case. What I do know, the reason I actually think that, just to verify, is because in the Bloomberg article, it said there was going to be a new Tread Plus, and it said there was going to be a new Row Plus.
Right.
The Tro Plus is a tread and a row together.
Oh, fancy.
Yeah. So that's why I think there's still going to be that better, best model that they have had.
Right.
Now, we asked Peloton, does this mean that the Bike Plus becomes the bike and quote unquote something new is coming? And they said, we're pleased to see such excitement about our product roadmap, but we have nothing to announce at this time.
The old at this time.
But that means it's soon, right? All signs point to soon. First of all, the Bloomberg article said as soon as October. Second of all, membership rates, they got to happen, like we talked about last week, before the holidays rush starts. Third of all, they've just added this new equipment assembly to the website. They are laying the groundwork for whatever this is. So all of those signs point to it's going to be in the next month.
Yeah.
Maybe 60 days. So there you go.
And we should say we also asked them, would there be any discount on these assembly prices if you were to buy multiple pieces of equipment at the same time? And the answer is,
if you would like to purchase more than one Peloton product with expert assembly, you'll pay the associated assembly fee for each product.
suck it.
So no.
I also wonder how this will affect whether or not people tip their delivery people.
Yeah, what a great point.
Because, like, if I just paid $300 to have it delivered and assembled, I'd kind of be like, I paid $300.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I don't know. It's different when the person is there in your face.
For sure.
Especially if they do something above and beyond, you know?
Yeah.
Now, I think there's a whole lot of factors go into it. First of all, people have such varying opinions about tipping. But I would say my opinion is, in general, you're going to see tips go down for these delivery drivers.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that you should stop tipping them. But
I know you're not.
But I just want people listening to know I'm not like, screw them. But, like, I also, like, I get, like, all of a sudden you're paying $300 to have something delivered, and you're kind of like, well, if that person should be getting something, then I pay $300.
Well, in theory, they are, right?
Yeah.
Because if we're paying an increased price to have something delivered, then it should go to the delivery company.
Yeah.
That it's an increased price of that. And with everything, with all the prices of everything going up, it's not really crazy to assume that. I don't mean that it went up by $300, you know, or $150 or whatever. But I don't think it's crazy to assume that prices have increased for delivery drivers because, you know, every time they leave. Just from what I've seen and the delivery drivers I've talked to, they don't necessarily live in your area. So one delivery could be a 4-hour trip if they have to drive 2 hours to your house and then they have to drive 2 hours back. That's not even including the actual installation.
Yeah, I mean, we had a guy come and do something for our tonal, and he had been driving all the way from like Effingham?
Yeah, it was in Illinois. Yeah, several hours away.
Which was like an hour and a half from here.
Yeah. And so it definitely can happen. I realize that's a repair, but the same thing does occur in deliveries, especially if you live in rural areas where there aren't as many hubs.
For sure, yeah. So moving along, Peloton has announced its first Tri.
It has, triathlon.
TRI.
Yeah, for people who don't know, that's short for triathlon. And there are people who don't know, which makes sense, because if you don't have all of the equipment and
Right.
you're not into triathlons, why would you know that?
Well, and also it's not like a true triathlon. 'Cause
It's called a dry try.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because a triathlon, you're swimming. Obviously, there's not a Peloton swimmer, but there is a Peloton rower, which is sort of water.
Well, it's not just that it's water. It's that it works the same muscles as swimming does, because
Oh,
you're
okay.
using your upper back in the same way, and
Gotcha.
you're using your arms, and you're using your legs. And so that's the thought process. But it's going to be on September 13th. There's going to be 3 classes in a row. They're all going to be taught by Matt, from what we understand, on September 13th. So it's going to be rowing, running, and cycling. But the thing is that people have been asking for this since they came out with a row. I mean,
Sure.
They were like, well, let's do all 3, you
Yeah.
know? Like, why have we not been doing programming to stack all 3? It is kind of crazy when you have all 3.
I wonder if they were waiting for did maybe not enough people have all 3, and they wanted to get to a certain critical mass before they did that, because they didn't want to do a try and then people see the leaderboard had like 14 people on it.
Maybe, but there's a lot of people that
back
have.
to using the dry erase board.
But I will say there's a lot of people that have off-brand rows and off-brand treadmills. So I don't
fair.
know that it needs to be that way. Although instantly I had somebody ask, and it's a fair question, you know, aren't people who don't have a row going to be mad? Because there's a lot of people that don't have a row. And there's a lot more people that have off-brand treadmills than have off-brand rows. So, but my thought is, but why would you be mad about it? Like I don't think there's a thing that Peloton has ever done that didn't
upset somebody.
Exactly.
Yeah. But also it's like, it seems silly that like, well, we can't do this because not everyone has all 3 pieces of equipment. I'm just like, well, that's silly. Because
It is.
because from my thought process, if you don't have all 3 pieces of equipment, then you probably don't have an interest in doing this anyway, or you'd have all 3 pieces of equipment.
Well, that's true. And again, it's not like you have to buy some expensive rower. You don't
Right.
have to buy the Peloton row to do this. And
Yeah.
and you could take the class on your app and do it on like a old school row. Like you
Right.
don't even have to have a connected one.
Yeah.
You know, it may not give you all the fancy stuff, but like big deal, right? What's interesting too is that it cracks me up how many people still use the leaderboard, because the first thing I saw about this was somebody saying they tagged another friend and were like, you're gonna win this. It's not a win.
Yeah.
It's not a win. You're not winning. There's no trophy. It's for fun, guys. It's for fun.
It's not fun if I don't win.
But I mean, you can't trust that stupid leaderboard.
Yeah. That is true.
But anyway, I think it's really cool they're finally doing this. I have wanted to see some of this for a long time. There's a whole group that's called the Peloton Trifecta, and they have been asking for this loudly
I bet.
for years. So they are thrilled.
Yeah.
So shout out to the Peloton Trifecta.
So Peloton this week over on their Instagram feed was promoting the output. If you don't know what the output is, well, that's probably why.
It's probably
why they were promoting it, but it's their blog. They have a blog where they write different articles with advice and tips and things like that. They call it the output because the clip out was already taken.
It was funny because how they went about promoting it was, of all people, Jess King and Bex Gentry walking down a hall, and Bex Gentry says to Jess King, yeah, I'm having all these, I don't know, whatever problems, like working out as a mom or something like that. And Jess King tells her how to prioritize calm and serenity as a mom. And I'm just like, do you you two? Real? Okay. This is a weird pairing on so many levels, like such a weird pairing. And first of all, I never see Jess King and Bex Gentry do anything together.
Yeah.
But then it's also just funny because, like, as a parent, Jess King is so different than Bex Gentry. Like, Bex Gentry is like family shots and family vacations, and they're doing all these things together. And then Jess King is like, oh my God, 2 children under 2. I'm a mess. I can't handle this. And I'm just like, maybe you should have switched those a little bit. There just seems to be a lot of like coming from there. And it is tough to have 2 under 2.
For sure.
Oh,
It's also tough to have 2 going off to college.
Oh, why? Why?
Yeah.
Why did you say that?
Why didn't we have dumber children? So taking a look at tech issues of the week, there were quite a few this week. We will start with on last Sunday, we had 2 classes that seemed to have a lot of trouble getting off the ground.
They did. The majority of the issues seemed to be in Jen Sherman's Epic Sing-Along class. And people were... Now, you have to remember, the instructors have been gone for like a month at this point. So everybody was like, there was a lot of pent-up demand for these live classes,
that
right?
Makes sense.
And it's an Epic Sing-Along. It's epic for a reason.
Always very popular.
And... So like people were on and they were trying to get into the Jen Sherman ride and it was just not working. And like they couldn't see anything in the actual studio. About 5 minutes in, it finally like came back to normal. And then everybody was worried about, oh my God, this is never going to make it to on demand.
Yeah.
It did make it to on demand. And in fact, whatever the issues were, did not affect the on demand
so they
at
still
all.
Captured the class.
They did. They captured the class. And I was told that there was no issue whatsoever when it got posted.
Well, that's good at least.
That's what Jen Sherman said on her stories. And then the other class that day, it was a Ben Aldis class. And I think it was an EDM, but I cannot promise that. And maybe it was Power Zone. It was Power Zone. And people were having trouble getting into that class as well. It was not nearly as troublesome and it didn't have like several minutes where nobody could get in. It just was like spotty.
Yeah.
And there were people that were having issues. So then everything was fine after that. I don't know why. I don't know if it was like all the new stuff they just did to the studio and it was the first couple of live classes back. I have no idea. The demand and there were so many people and it just overwhelmed the system. No idea what happened.
Huh.
But those are theories that are going around.
Yeah. Well, at least they were able to capture it so it's still there.
Definitely.
So what other tech issues did we have this week?
Well, we also have people who are experiencing issues with the Wear OS heart rate tracking. That's for Android users.
Okay.
And the latest on that is that the Android app 3.57.0 has been rolled out and it should resolve the issue, and they are continuing to monitor that for the rest of the day. That was yesterday. And then there is another issue. Now, this one's been out for a while. They are aware of badge descriptions not displaying after workouts. So it will show correctly in the Peloton app, but in other devices, it does not. And they said it will be fixed in the next app release, but that was back from July 28th. So
It's been a minute.
It has.
Yeah.
And Lane Break is still failing to initialize for some members. And it says investigating still, if anybody's paying attention, since May 16th.
Whoa.
Yeah. Now mine's back, so I don't know why it's intermittent. Like I had a lot of trouble with mine. Then it came back and I was able to use it. So I don't know if it's like when they roll it out, it's not rolling out completely. Makes me wonder if it's related to this new equipment that's coming out.
It could be, but you don't know why it's working. You know who else doesn't know?
Peloton. Oh, Peloton. We love you.
You know what else we love?
What?
Our advertisers.
We do.
And you get to hear from them right now. Isn't that exciting? Unless you're a Patreon subscriber. And we will be back with more Instructor in the News. We're talking about all the fertility updates. It's been crazy lately with pregnancy talk, and we will have even more of it after this.
Instructors in the News.
Okay.
Here we go.
Let me put on my rubber gloves.
It's not the rubber you should be using.
Well, I'm safe.
Okay.
I got the permanent version of that.
Okay.
But we're going to put on our OBGYN hats and dive in.
Ew. Ew.
Callie Gullickson is pregnant.
She is, yeah. And so just to kind of recap what's gone on with Callie, she had her first child, Cash, a couple years ago. She then moved to Florida, wherever, I can't remember where in Florida, but I know it's near her parents. And now she travels in to the Peloton office once a month to do a week's worth of shoots. And then she goes back to Florida. And now she's pregnant with her second child. So a couple of things. One, we've been talking on the bonus about is Callie going to continue to work at Peloton. This is another sign that makes me feel like maybe not after this child. Like, I'm not trying to rush her out.
For sure.
Please stay at Peloton as long as you would like.
Yeah.
But the reason I say that is she's been looking for an assistant. She's been talking about how she's an influencer. That came before Peloton, was in her listing when she was looking for an assistant. And now with a second child, it's only going to be harder to do that travel, especially in the last trimester of her pregnancy.
Yeah.
So nothing has been said.
Right.
Just wondering
Just
if she will decide to stay.
Reading the tea leaves and asking questions.
Whatever she decides, we are happy for her, and we want to send our congratulations that she is having baby number 2.
Yeah. First one's named Cash. The economy's so bad. The second one's named Credit.
It's funny you say that because I'm not going to say who in case they would get mad, but somebody did say how hilarious it would be if she named her second child Money, Munnie, and then when she went out to the backyard to yell for her children, it was Cash Money. But I like Cash and Credit too.
So speaking of babies, this one came as quite a surprise.
Shocking.
Allie Love had a baby, which we didn't know she was pregnant.
What? Allie Love had a baby? That is just incredible. Yes, Allie Love has had her baby. She posted a picture on the gram, and it was of her and her husband, of course, and then and the baby in the hospital.
Okay.
And she did actually address the fact that she didn't talk about her pregnancy,
Which I'm glad that she did.
I am too.
Not that she cares what I think.
No, me either. And that's okay. She doesn't need to. But I did think it was interesting, and a lot of people have brought this up, and I just wanted to say this. So Allie did announce, she says, I do want to mention I didn't do a pregnancy announcement, and this was a conscious choice. Well, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The journey was challenging, and I needed to focus on simply making it through without the added pressure. I understand pregnancy-related conversations can be sensitive and triggering, and it was essential for me to create a safe space for myself and others. Sometimes visible changes of pregnancy speak volumes, and that was enough transparency for me during that time. Now, that is all well and good, and I respect her wishes. The thing I do take issue with is, then why did you feel the need to block all the people when they brought up your changing shape?
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, it's a double-edged sword
It
because
is a
it's
double-edged sword.
like we're not supposed to ever, acknowledge that there are those changes, but then on the other hand to say, but the changes are self-evident.
That's the problem. That's the problem I have an issue with. Like to say I didn't address it because it was obvious. Okay.
Yeah.
But then you can't get mad at people for bringing up the obviousness.
Especially people that were very positive about it.
Yeah, these were not people that were like, you fat.
Right.
Like, these were just people that were like, oh my gosh.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
Yeah.
And that bothers me because this feels like hindsight making excuses more than it does an honest feeling. Now, I will also say, in her defense, what is also possible is she hadn't really processed what her feelings were at that time. And maybe she was just shutting down everything that had any mention because she didn't know what to do with that yet.
Yeah.
And that's okay. I do wish that she had said that because unless you went back and unblocked those people and apologized to them, that just feels really hurtful. And it was people who were just excited for you and you blocked them for no reason. And it was a lot of people. This is not a one or two thing. So, congrats to Allie. I'm glad she had her baby. I'm glad the baby is safe and happy and healthy. And she did have a boy, if anybody is wondering, as well.
And speaking of fertility stuff, Mariana Fernandez posted on her Instagram about her struggles.
She did. And so Mariana has been very open and transparent about the fact that she froze her eggs last year. And this year, she is being very open and transparent about the fact that she is going to try IVF, and she's really scared and nervous about it. And she knows how many times it's not a done deal. It can work, but it is very successful for a lot of people, but not necessarily on the first try.
Right.
And it's a very scary thing. And she hasn't spoken about it, but I would say that if she is not currently in a relationship, and that is how it appears. It is none of my business.
Right.
But if that is the case, I just know that it can be an especially isolating, difficult thing to go through. I remember that I have a friend who I went to high school with who chose to go this route.
Yeah.
And she went through it 3 years ago, I think, maybe 4. And boy, was it tough, to go through the pregnancy on your own. If you have friends and support, I don't mean like zero support. It's
Right.
just different than having somebody
the same.
built in the home. Like, it's
Correct.
just a very different situation. So very brave of Mariana to talk about it, to be so transparent about it, and to share all of that with us and to go through it.
So John Hosking hosted an in-studio proposal.
He did, and it was during the actual Club Hosky. I don't think that there has ever been an in-studio proposal first of all, in any class,
Right.
but also I think this was the first proposal at London, at the
Okay.
London studio. So that is really fun, and it was cool that the Peloton studio actually like filmed it and shared it,
Yeah.
and let the information flow so
Yeah.
that the members could have it. That's really special.
Do we know if these were like people he knew somehow, or I just can't imagine Peloton being super like, yeah, we'll disrupt a class so you could do that.
It was at the end of class,
Yeah.
number one. And number two, I think, or maybe it was at the beginning. Maybe this might have been right
Like the
before class
pre-show?
started. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that, do you remember how the New York studio used to be really chill? Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I
the
do.
London studio
Still
is
like
still
that?
like that.
Gotcha.
I know we only went the one time, but even then, you remember that there were not security guards everywhere you
Right.
went, and there are at the Peloton New
Yeah.
York studio. And like, yeah, like if you tried to get anywhere near the stage, but this also didn't take place on the stage. He like knelt down and proposed right in front of the treadmill. So
Yeah.
it wasn't like they were trying to be right in front of John Hosking. I will say, when I first saw this message, my heart went, oh my God, because I thought John Hosking got
Gotcha.
engaged. And I was like, what? Because like people will lose their minds. But it's okay. Everyone who's into John Hosking, boys and girls,
Yes,
because there are many.
I have no doubt.
He is still single,
Yeah,
that we know of. But congrats to these two.
absolutely. Selena Samuela is hosting an immersive book event with Spotify. This actually sounds really cool.
It does. And it took place yesterday at the New York City Bowery Hotel. It was Spotify's The Forbid Inn. Get it? 'Cause
Yes,
it's in
INN,
hotel.
yes.
An immersive romantasy experience with hidden gems, quests, and surprises. I just think that sounds so neat.
It does. It's like D&D, but for girls.
Yeah, and
'Cause
I also-
only boys can like D&D. That's what I'm saying.
I definitely.
Please be outraged.
And girls can like the romance, but boys can't.
Exactly.
Keep going, Tom.
Exactly.
What's all that you're always saying about how you're a feminist?
Yes. Now let's talk about race.
But I agree, Tom. This sounded really, really cool. And reminder that the Lit and Fit challenges is still happening, and there are bonus listening hours to participants who are crushing it. So I think this is really fun. I love seeing how happy Selena is about this and having this amazing partnership with Spotify. She's loving every second of it.
For
She's a
sure.
true bookworm.
And just a reminder that she will be out starting in September. Her last live class is September 18th, I believe.
No, I think that you got it wrong.
Oh,
She's
damn it.
out now, and she won't be back until September 18th.
Oh, whoops.
That's what it said.
only-
Last live class until September 18th.
Damn it. It's funny. I originally had written it that way, and then I looked at the clip or the screen grab and read it wrong and switched it.
I don't know how you read that wrong, but
I don't
okay.
know. It's my superpower.
You're probably in a hurry.
I'm sure you'll fix all this in post.
You were probably trying to get your best fiends.
Yeah.
You were probably trying to do a mega boost
I
at
had
the
a
same
mega
time.
boost, yeah. Coming up after this, we're going to talk artist series, who the latest artist featured is. It's a big one, and a celebrity sighting on the bike, and of course content. So stick around.
Peloton artist collaborations.
Many people use Peloton to stay alive. So fittingly, the latest artist series features the Bee Gees.
It is true that it is the Bee Gees. And there are tons of classes that are popping up. There's a yoga flow. There are two cycling classes, one with Mila in German and then one with Leanne. And all of those take place on August 21st. Then there's also full body strength with Rebecca. It's going to be on the 21st. And then a row with Bex on the 21st. Interesting.
Yeah.
That's an interesting mix.
Yeah.
So lots of fun. Bee Gees
Absolutely.
are fun.
Yeah.
How do you not like I mean, I know disco has a...
But here's the thing. People obviously associate the Bee Gees with disco, but that's really like their third act. They had so many before that that aren't disco. Like because I mean the Bee Gees started in the 60s. Like they were
What?
Yeah, they were huge
I didn't know that.
before disco. It's just disco, like that Saturday Night Fever soundtrack was just crazy town.
As you
how
like
big
to say,
that
a
was.
juggernaut.
It was. I mean, I don't know if it still is, but I know for a long time it was the best-selling soundtrack of all time. But like I think it was like number one for like 30 weeks or something. It was crazy how big that record was.
I don't know, but that Andy Gibb, he sure is a pretty guy.
Now, he's not in the Bee Gees.
Oh, is it Barry that's in the Bee Gees?
Well, there's-
Which one's in the Bee Gees?
Well, 3 of them, but
What?
it's like
Come on.
It's like what's the Bee Gees stands for? The Brothers Gibb.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, the actual name of the band was like Brothers Gibb, and then it got shortened to Bee Gees.
Did not know
In
that.
the same way that people say Stone Temple Pilots and STP interchangeably.
No way.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then they changed it at some point.
I
like,
think they
had
did.
to
In
have.
the same way Coca-Cola finally was like, okay, you can call us Coke.
That's
you know?
funny.
But yeah, no, and so Andy Gibb, I think, is a cousin. But like but the Bee Gees were like Barry and Maurice, and I forget the third one.
Okay, well,
Ringo?
whichever one has the Farrah Fawcett thing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Andy. That you're.
Yeah, so that's the one I'm talking about.
But he's not a.
But
Brothers
he's very
Gibb.
pretty.
Yeah.
That's all I was trying to say.
Okay.
Gosh.
I get it. You like Andy Gibb.
Well,
Sheesh.
my very first boyfriend in high school looked a lot like him. I didn't know who the Bee Gees were
Right.
until many, many years later. And I was like, well, he's very nice looking. He reminds me of somebody. Oh, yeah.
Now you have the same reaction to Paul Giamatti.
Every time you say that, it cracks me up. You are not Paul Giamatti.
No, he's a talented actor.
Tom, stop. You're very talented.
Peloton Celebrity Sightings.
We have a new celebrity sighting, dermatologist to the stars, Dr. Doris Day. Got to put the doctor in there so people don't get confused.
Absolutely. I was like, huh?
Yeah.
Yes. And she mentioned the Peloton when she was, well, actually, I shouldn't say she mentioned the Peloton.
She's
she was
on it.
riding the
Yeah.
Peloton as she was filming a reel. 5 things she'd never do as a board certified derm. But she did all that while she was on the Peloton. Very cool.
Yeah, I've never heard of her, but
Me either, but that means absolutely nothing.
also true.
She's got like 300,000 followers, so
She's doing
lots
okay.
of people have heard of her.
Absolutely.
New content.
It is time for the TCO Top 5. We asked you for your favorite classes, and you responded, so then we will respond with what you responded with. Number 1, your favorite walk-run.
All right, so I nominated this class.
Oh,
All right, I might have had a meltdown this weekend when I couldn't find this class.
using your clout.
And I just nominated it, and Helper B. Tina chose it. Okay? I didn't make her do anything.
Oh, is that how that works?
Yes.
She didn't. She felt absolutely no pressure at all.
I hope not.
That clip out Crystal recommended a class for the clip out top 5.
It's just a coinky dink.
Yeah.
But
It's kind
listen,
of like how the president happens to always stay at Trump hotels.
why do you have to bring him into it? Okay. Anyway, back to my happy place.
Okay.
So this is a 45-minute walk plus run that was taught by Mariana Fernandez. Now, this was originally posted July 12th of 24. I had heard that it was based on or created as a homage to Taylor Swift and specifically the TTPD album, Tortured Poets Department album. And so I was like, I want to take this class. I'm in the mood to take this class. So I finally found it and got to take it on Monday. And it wasn't the Taylor Swift music that made this class stand out. It was Mariana, because there's a lot in the world going on right now that is so shitty and makes me feel awful, including that we are leaving tomorrow to take the children to college. Like, I'm happy for them. Yeah. I'm very happy, but it is also really hard to watch your baby go to college. Yeah. But Mariana reminded me with her very sweet words that it is temporary, and she gave so much hope during this walk plus run, and it was so desperately needed. So I recommend anyone, even if you don't have a tread, take this class. Mariana is going to make you feel like it's all going to be okay.
Well, that's good. And college is temporary. Payments are forever.
Yeah, especially with that new big, beautiful bill we got.
Exactly. So number 2, it'll be interesting to see what you apparently picked for the favorite outdoor walk.
Well, I didn't. This came from Jen Kern, and it was taught by Mariana Fernandez. It was a 45-minute mindful walk, and Jen Kern said that it was lovely. It was just what she needed to get her mind in a place to do a very long run the next day. Mariana said in an Instagram story she filmed this class back in April when she was going through a tough time mentally. So if you're in a tough spot and you need a boost, this may be what you need. All I know is 2 people this week said Mariana saved them from their sadness. Mariana is a goddamn gem, and she deserves all the respect. This class was posted on August 13th, in case you're looking for it, or 12th. I guess it depends on which time zone you were in, because it got posted at midnight. So.
Gotcha. That'll throw you a curveball. Number 3, your favorite bike class.
Well, the aforementioned class with Jen Sherman that had all the issues, it was the epic sing-along ride, and people loved it. By the way, Mariana Fernandez is going to get another shout out.
Goodness.
Because she was in this class, along with Jess King and Ash Pryor. They were all there to sing along with Jen. Nancy recommended this class. She loved that it was a party on the bike. Jen was so happy to be on the bike after a month off, and the class was full of songs you know and love.
Number 4, your favorite yoga class. Let's see how Mariana Fernandez crashes this one.
Well, she didn't. It was Dr. Chelsea Jackson Roberts. And she taught this class in November of 23. It was a 30-minute focus flow for healthy back. Karen Smith nominated this class, saying she dug in the archives. It was a beginner yoga class and it had a lot of focus on form. It gives a lot of attention to all parts of the back and is great for those of us that are less bendy.
And finally, it is your unstackable It's a Strength class.
Also not taught by Mariana.
Oh.
Adrian Williams taught this class, and it was posted on July 26th of 25. And Ela Shuba Eckert took this class and said the class kicked their butt in the best way. I had planned to hop on the bike afterwards for a ride, but my muscles were all like, nope. Oh, I hear you.
So taking a look at this week at Peloton, we have the UK, or the UK if you prefer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Celebrating Carnival.
They are. Yeah. The Notting Hill Carnival is one of the most iconic events in the UK. Did you know 2 million people attend annually? That's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah. Well, Hannah Frankson is back with a celebration ride on August 23rd. And then Jocelyn is doing a walk plus run on the same day. How fun is that?
So looking ahead at the full class schedule, there's a lot.
There is, yeah. 20-minute EDM Pilates with Rebecca on the 18th, a 60-minute summer strut with John Hosking on today, my birthday, August 20th. And then on the 23rd, there's a slow flow with Nico, and there's also those 2 carnivals. So lots to do. By the way, that slow flow with Nico is live from PSL.
Maybe there'll be a proposal.
You never know.
And then taking a look at the TCO radar, just classes that we haven't mentioned yet, but we think you should be aware of. We have Pure Pump 3.
Yeah, we briefly mentioned this last week because it was a brand new Strength Plus class, or I should say program, that dropped last week.
And Jocelyn has her first 75-minute run.
Yeah, it's coming up on the 24th. And that, like you said, it's going to be her very first long run. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
It's also going to be a pace targets, if you're wondering.
How about that? And then Andy Spear has a new advanced split, which we should also say we have a review of over at theclubout.com.
We do. And not only is there a review, there's a brand new, very specific tracker just for this advanced split that Nikki designed very specifically.
Oh,
it's
wow.
Beautiful.
Nico will be the next instructor to visit PSL.
Yes, and she's going to be teaching classes in German. Well, she always teaches classes in German and English. And so we want to make sure that people know there are several classes coming up in the next week for her. So check them out.
Peloton birthdays.
And finally, crashing a segment once again, it's Mariana Fernandez celebrating her birthday on August 26th.
Happy birthday to this wonderful, wonderful woman.
So that's it for this one. We have come to the conclusion of the episode. Until next week, where can people find you?
People can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/Crystal D. O'Keefe. They can find me on Threads and Blue Sky and the Instagram and, of course, the Peloton leaderboard at ClipOutCrystal.
And you can find me on Blue Sky and Threads at Tom O'Keefe Jr. or on Facebook at facebook.com/Tom O'Keefe. You can find the show online at facebook.com/The Clip Out. While you're there, like the page, join the group, and of course, don't forget our Patreon. $5 a month. You get bonus episodes, you get ad-free episodes, you get early episodes, you get us liking you just a little bit extra. So that's it for this one. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, keep pedaling
And running.
and rowing.
Bye.
Bye.
Clip in.